So to make this blanket, you're going to need about 1,100 yards of number 5 yarn. So I chose to use Hue Me. This is one of my favorite yarns to use for chunky blankets. Now I used 6 skeins of this salt color, and then for the contrasting stripes, I used 2 skeins of, this is called Spicy, and I used a 3rd skein of this spicy color to make my tassels. So keep in mind that if you want to add tassels, you will need an entire skein just for the tassels. You'll also need a pair of scissors, a crochet hook that best suits your tension. I used a 7mm or L hook for mine, and a tapestry needle for weaving in your ends. All right, so to begin, we are going to make 85 foundation single crochet stitches. So if you don't know how to do that, don't worry, I'm going to walk you through it. Now for the purpose of this video, I am just going to make a mini version of this blanket. I won't be making an entire blanket on camera, so I'm just going to be making a little square sample of the full-size blanket. All right, so again, we're going to start with 85 foundation single crochet stitches. So to make your first foundation single crochet, you're going to chain 2. And now you're going to kind of flip that over and look for this back bump of the very first chain that you made. Insert your hook into that back bump. And then yarn over and pull up a loop. You've got 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 1, and yarn over and pull through 2. And that's your first foundation single crochet stitch. Now we're going to kind of be working along this back side here. Do you see these 2 loops? We're going to work under those for all of our other foundation single crochet stitches. So insert your hook under those 2 loops, yarn over, pull up a loop. You've got 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 1 loop, and yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. And that is your second foundation single crochet. So let's do that again. So again, you're going to insert your hook under these 2 loops here. Pull them apart so you can see them a little better there. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 1 loop, and yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. I'll walk you through that one last time. So inserting your hook under both of these loops here, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, and yarn over and pull through 2. So now what I want you to do is pause this video. You're going to work a total of 85 of these foundation single crochet stitches, and then I will meet you back here to start row 2 of this blanket. All right, now once you've made 85 foundation single crochet stitches, obviously I do not have 85 because again, I am just making a mini version of this blanket. So again, once you've got all 85, go ahead and chain 1. And now you're going to just kind of flip your foundation row over so that the top side, this should look familiar to you now, so that this top side of our stitches is facing us. And now we're just going to work across this row. So you're going to start by working a single crochet in the very first stitch. The chain 1 does not count as a stitch anywhere in this pattern. And you're just going to work 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch all the way across. So go ahead and pause this video, work your single crochets all the way across, and then I'll meet you back here to start the 3rd row. And once you've completed that 2nd row of single crochet stitches, go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. Once again, the chain 1 does not count as a stitch. And this 3rd row, all we're going to do is work 1 single crochet once again in each stitch all the way across, just like we did for row 2. So go ahead and pause this video, work this next row of single crochet stitches, and then I'll meet you back here to start our first row that will have the falling leaves stitch in it. And once you've come to the end of that 3rd row of single crochet stitches, go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. Now to begin this 4th row, you are going to work 1 double crochet in each of the first 4 stitches. And now, once you've completed those first 4 double crochet stitches, you're going to look 2 rows below It might be a little tricky to see. I promise this is going to be probably the hardest row of this entire tutorial. It'll be a lot easier to see on other rows. So you're going to count 4 stitches over, or 5 stitches. I'm sorry, you're going to count 5 stitches over because we completed 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to look for this single crochet, the 5th single crochet from 2 rows below. I'm going to show you first how you're going to insert your hook. You're going to kind of just insert it from front to back and then back out the front again, just like this. Okay. So to make our first falling leaves stitch, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that fifth stitch from 2 rows below, just like I showed you. So front to back, back out the front, yarn over, pull up a loop. You're going to have 3 loops on your hook. We're going to repeat that step. Yarn over, insert your hook once again in the same manner, and yarn over, pull up a loop. That is going to give you 5 loops total on your hook. And I always like to pull it up a little bit just so I'm not so close to so tight to my work. All right. So you've got 5 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through 4 of those loops. And now we're going to yarn over and finish out the stitch by pulling through the last 2 loops. And that is your first falling leaves stitch. So moving forward, I want you to look towards the back of your work. Notice this unworked stitch behind the leaves stitch we just made. We're going to skip over that. We technically already worked a stitch here. Even though we didn't work it as we traditionally would under these loops, we worked it on the front of our work like this. So we're going to skip this stitch, and now we're going to move on and work a double crochet stitch in each of the next 3 stitches. And now it's time to work another leaf stitch. So once again, we're going to look for the next stitch from 2 rows below. So here it is right here. Yarn over, insert your hook from front to back and back out the front. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Remember, pull that up just a little bit. Repeat that step. Yarn over, insert your hook around that stitch again and pull up another loop. We should now have 5 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through the first 4 loops. That leaves us with 2 loops. And now yarn over and pull through the remaining 2 loops. And now your second falling leaf stitch is made. So once again, we're going to ignore this unworked stitch behind the leaf stitch we just made, and we're going to move on. And we're going to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And now it's time to make another leaf stitch. So again, we're going to look for the next stitch from 2 rows below. Yarn over, insert your hook from front to back, back out the front, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull that loop up a little bit, repeat, yarn over, insert your hook once again, and pull up another loop, and just pull it up a little bit. 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 4, and then yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. Now I want you to go ahead and repeat these steps, okay? So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to ignore the stitch behind this and work 3 more double crochets and then a leaf stitch. And you're going to repeat that sequence all the way across until you get to the last 4. You should end with, after the last leaf stitch that you make, you should have 4 stitches left. And you're just going to go ahead and work a double crochet stitch in each of the last 4 stitches. So you should have 4 double crochet stitches at the end of the row and 4 double crochet stitches at the, we started with 4 double crochet stitches. So go ahead and pause this video, finish out this row. Again, you're going to end with a double crochet in each of the last 4 stitches. And then I'll meet you back here and we will start the next row together. All right, welcome back. So you should have 4 double crochet stitches at the start of this 4th row you just worked and 4 double crochet stitches at the end of this row. If you haven't already, go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. Now this row is going to be super simple. We're just going to work 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch all the way across. So go ahead and pause this video, work this row of single crochets, and then I'll meet you back here to start row 6. All right, welcome back. So once you finish that row of single crochet stitches, go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. And now we're going to work another row using the falling leaf stitch, except they're going to be worked in different places on this row. So to start, we're going to work 1 double crochet in each of the first 2 stitches. Last time it was the first 4 stitches, but this time it's just the first 2. Now, remember when I said that this first row of the falling leaf stitch was going to be the hardest, and it will be a lot easier to see where to put your hook? This is where you're going to find that out. So you're going to look for the next stitch, which is going to be the 3rd stitch. We completed 2, and now we're going to look for the 3rd stitch 2 rows below, and since they are double crochet stitches, they're so much easier to see now. So you're going to work a leaf stitch around this double crochet stitch here. Again, it's the 3rd one over, yarn over, insert your hook from front to back, and back out the front. Your hook even goes in easier, you'll see that. Pull up a loop, pull it up a little bit, yarn over, insert your hook again in the same place, and pull up another loop. Pull that loop all the way up, yarn over, pull through 4, and yarn over and pull through 2. And remember, we're going to ignore this unworked stitch behind the leaf stitch you just made, and we're going to move on to this next stitch. You're going to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And now it's time to work another leaf stitch, and it's going to be really easy to see this time. So notice how there are 3 double crochets in between these 2 leaf stitches from 2 rows below. You're simply going to locate the middle one. It's going to be that simple from here on out. You're just going to locate the middle stitch in between each of the leaf stitches, and that's where you're going to make your leaf stitches on each row from here on out. You're just going to look for that middle double crochet stitch. So go ahead and yarn over, insert your hook around that stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over once again, insert your hook into or around that same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 4, and yarn over and pull through 2. Moving forward, I'm sure you know by now, we're going to ignore that, and we're going to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And once again, now you're going to locate that middle double crochet stitch right here, and we're going to make our leaf stitch by yarning over, inserting your hook around that stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook around the same stitch, and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 4, and yarn over and pull through 2. And moving forward, we're skipping this stitch and we're moving on to the next one, and we're going to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. Now I am at the end of my row, so I'm going to show you what it's going to look like when you get to the end of your row. So you're going to have 4 double crochet stitches at the end of this row. You are going to look for the second one over, okay? And that's where you're going to work your very last leaves stitch of this row. And after you skip this stitch behind the leaf stitch that you just worked, you will have 2 stitches left, and you're going to work a double crochet in each of the last 2 stitches. Just like you started with 2 double crochets in each of the first 2, you will end with a double crochet in each of the last 2. So go ahead and pause this video, finish up this row, and then I'll meet you back here to start the next row. All right, welcome back. So if you have not already, go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. And this is going to be another single crochet row. So you are simply going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way across. So go ahead and pause this video, work this row of single crochets, and then I'll meet you back here to start the next row. And welcome back to my blanket tutorial. So once you have finished that row of single crochet stitches, go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. And now from here on out, this is just going to be a repeat of the 4 previous rows that we just did. So I'm going to show you. This next row, you are going to do a repeat of row number 4, where we started and ended with 4 double crochets after our leaf stitches, okay? So this next row is going to be a repeat of row 4. You're going to have your single crochet row, and then we're going to do a repeat of row 6, and then another single crochet row. So you're just going to continue to repeat these last 4 rows over and over and over again until you get to row 73. Now I actually just took out this last single crochet row that I worked because I want to show you how we're going to work our finishing rows of this blanket. So once you get to row 73, it should be a leaves row, a row that has the falling leaves stitch in it. That should be the last row that you worked, okay? And should be row 73. Now we're going to start row 74. Go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work if you haven't already. And this is super simple. You're just going to make 3 rows, all the same, all single crochet stitches. So we started this blanket with 3 rows of single crochet stitches, and now we are going to finish off our blanket with 3 rows of single crochet stitches. And once you've finished up those rows of single crochet stitches, you can go ahead and just fasten off, weave in all your ends, and then if you want, you can add tassels like I did to the corners of your blanket. I do have a video that I have linked in the description of this video to show you how to make the tassels. So if you want to do that, you can hop over to that video now and make tassels for your blanket. Now, how to change color. So I am going to take a minute and show you how I fasten off and put a new color on. As far as actual color changes, you can check the description of this video, and I have in there exactly what rows I made what colors. So when it's time to change color, you're just going to go ahead and fasten off. I make sure I leave enough so that I can weave this in later. And I just completely fasten off just like this and just let go of that. And now to attach my new color, I make sure you've got your next color in your hand here. All right, I always do a slip knot. Some people they'll just pull the yarn through as is. You do you. I feel like most people probably just pull the yarn through as is. I'm like the only one that attaches it this way. So you do what's most comfortable for you. But anyway, you've got your contrasting color ready. You're going to insert your hook through the first stitch, and then you're simply going to pull the new color through as if you were working with this yarn all along. And then I chain one, and then whatever my first stitch of this row would be, my first stitch would be a double crochet for this particular row. I'm just going to work a double crochet in that very first stitch. And then this is a row, I know that we start with 4 double crochets on this row. So I'm just going to continue to work as I normally would with my new color. And then at the end, you can go through and weave in all these ends, just put on a really good show. I know weaving in ends is not the most fun job in the world, but I usually just put on a really good movie or something and get to work. But anyway, that is how you are going to change colors for this blanket. Now, if you want to make tassels for your blanket, I have another video with a tutorial on how to do that. So I will make sure to link that and the appropriate timestamp in that video so that you can add tassels onto this blanket if that's what you want to do. Thanks so much for joining me for today's video tutorial. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.